Opinions and stories around the game we love, told by your favorite storytellers. Stay up to date with all things cricket. Subscribe to Cricbuzz's YouTube channel and press that bell icon now.
It's Delhi playing Punjab tomorrow at Brabourne Stadium. Though, Lisa, they have said that this is contingent to them returning, the Delhi squad returning negative COVID tests in the morning. Oh, man, I'm going to have my fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, it's all a bit... it's not a great feeling given what everyone experienced last year. So, fingers crossed Mitch Marsh comes out of hospital soon and that he's fine, and that there's no one else that is affected. But, to move the game makes a lot of sense, less travel. You've got to remember as well that the Delhi squad have all been isolating as well. So, once they get out and about, it's probably not the greatest preparation for the match, but Delhi really need to switch on and get their tournament going in the right direction.
Yeah, well, the good news is that today the entire squad is returned negative tests, so hopefully they do that tomorrow as well, and then this game happens. Let's have a look at the Delhi team. Michael, your thoughts, if they have to juggle anything, if they have to change anything, if they have to bring in somebody. I mean, we still don't have word on Nokia, do we? Still don't have word whether he's available tomorrow.
No, I mean, they were speaking that he'd done a bit of bowling and he was starting to get his paces back, so maybe they'll throw in the quick. They've just not played brilliantly in the last few games. It's just it's been one of those things. I don't think they've been that far short. They've just lost. It's just the IPL. You lose games of cricket. It's now how they react. It's how they deal with this situation. Somehow they've got to come out and get their better plays. That opening combination is such a key part of the Delhi method. Prithvi Shaw and Davey Warner coming out and playing aggressively, and the skipper himself, who I think settling into the job quite nicely. I've been quite impressed by Rishabh's captaincy. I think he's been a lot calmer than I thought he would be. I thought he would be a little bit excited, and I've been really impressed by his calmness. But you're just desperate in a time when you know that you need a win for one of your better players to just show up and do something really special. And I think that's what Ricky will be saying to his team. Collectively play smart, but I think even Ricky will be going to bed tonight thinking, oh, come on, Davey. Come on, Prithvi. Just one of you, get us off to a flying start and get us a century. And that pretty much does the trick in T20 cricket.
If you just bring that team up again, Lisa, Robin Powell played the last game. Do you see perhaps Tim Seifert coming in place of him, just both sort of batting a bit?
Yeah, I think that they would be bitterly disappointed about the numbers that Robin Powell has kind of given out to Delhi at the moment. Just has not fired at all. I mean, and even when they had Sarfaraz Khan in, he didn't really bat. He batted down the order 8. He got kept shuffling down when a guy who's scored so many runs at domestic level. So they've got a few options, I think. Whilst they're batting, you've got to score a decent amount of runs. It's also their bowling that, there's still a few question marks about it. So, fingers crossed that we saw, I think, Ricky Ponting saying they had to improve in all 3 departments. So it looks like he's getting a little bit grumpy, Ricky. So hopefully they can put a smile on his dial.
Michael, you know a bit about grumpy Ricky.
Yeah, they generally get grumpy, Australians, when they start losing. Problem is they don't lose that often. That's my problem.
Well, I suspect there's going to be a bit of juggling tomorrow. Might just enforce a few changes because Mitchell Marsh, of course, if you look at that team again, we marked him in grey. He is the 11th player there. So he doesn't play. So who do you get in? There's a Yash Dhool who's sitting there. Been keen to see him after what he did at the Under-19 World Cup. Could he get a move? Could he get a chance to play tomorrow? Could they play again with just 3 overseas players? Could they get Lungi and Giri in, perhaps? But, who do they make these changes for? So it seems interesting. Seems like Mitchell Marsh brings you the kind of balance which an all-rounder does. So they'll have to figure out what they do there. It's not going to be easy for them.
He doesn't have a great track record with IPL, does he? He gets injured early, gets sent home.
First game every time.
Yeah.
And also, it's such a big loss for Delhi Mitchell, because he had a bit of an iffy last game. His first game, he struggled with the bat, but he's such a really good player these days that, you know, he would have been better for that outing, and now he's going to be obviously on the sidelines for hopefully not too long, but I'm sure it'll be for a couple of games, and then he'll have to start once again. So it's not going to be easy for Micheal Marsh. He's a big loss, because I think when Ricky signed him, it was almost like he was a kingpin, because he's playing that well. We saw him in the T20 World Cup throughout the whole of the Big Bash. He is that powerhouse at number 3 now that can get you hundreds in T20 cricket off 50, 60 balls. So it's a big loss for Delhi.
Let's have a look at Punjab and see what they would like to do with their team. There it is. They've got Mayank, the captain, will perhaps come back tomorrow if he comes in straight for Prab Simran, you're guessing? Or, maybe straight for Prab Simran. That would be the straight swap there. But they're looking very good. The middle is looking really good, but otherwise you don't see any other changes happening, do you, Lisa?
I mean, the only one still is probably Odean Smith. I mean, he's not getting them runs. He is going for a lot of runs, but he is picking up wickets. So it depends what they want to do there. I don't know too much about Benny Howe, whether he's an option potentially to come in, but you know, I think fingers crossed that Mayank Agarwal's big toe is all right. I think, you know, having him at the top is really important. But yeah, the Punjab side, they go hard. They've got good batting depth. They've got good strikers. They just need to keep a few more wickets in hand.
They're batting like the England T20 team of a few years ago, aren't they, Michael?
Yeah, they give it a red hot go. I mean, I just didn't think, particularly in the last game, I didn't think they played smart. You know, you had Liam Livingstone smoking it to all parts, yet he wasn't getting the strike. And it's all right having that mentality of wanting to go for it pretty much from ball one, and every player does it. But you have to be smart. You have to realise when there's a player going that, you know, that you might not be going yourself. So you've just got to give him the strike. And, you know, of all the team, I mean, their fielding, I don't think it's that hot. You know, I think they've struggled in the field in comparison to a few other sides. So I think Punjab, their ceiling is very, very high to get it right because of that power, and they do have decent combinations with the ball, but you know, they do have to improve the field and its smartness. You look at the Sunrisers, who seem to maximise every ounce of ability out of their unit. I think the Punjab team have got so much more talent and ability, but if you don't play smart, you know, you'll get found out. And in the last game, they just weren't a smart enough cricket team. So that's an area of improvement that they need to try and produce.